Chapter 5, Sociological Theories of Delinquency. This is the narrated version of this chapter PowerPoint. Introduction, Sociological Theories. Studies the interaction of the individual with the social environment. 4 types of sociological theories: social structure, social process, subculture, and social reaction. Social structure theories. Early in the 20th century North America, vast social change from the industrialized revolution. University of Chicago sociologists studied crime and deviant behavior in the light of urban social disorganization, built on Tonier's Gemeinheit and Gesellschaft. Social disorganization, Burgess' theory of how cities grow, developed in concentric circles or zones of development growing towards outer areas. Each zone develops certain characteristics: working class homes, affluent home, commuter neighborhoods, and industrial zones. Sean McKay used this model to address juvenile delinquency. The idea was that delinquency rates would be higher in unstable zones and lower in more stable zones. Urban inequality. Sampson and Wilson found social disorganization creates different ways of seeing the dynamics of society and different norms based on social positions that alter how people view their communities. Example, areas where drug use, poverty, and substandard housing are normal have greater tolerance for crime and delinquency. Urban inequality. What is it about communities that encourages or discourages its citizens to break the law? Sampson, Rosenbach, and Earls discuss collective efficacy, a group's shared belief of the extent to which it can successfully complete a task, and it's related to community crime rates. Informal social control varies across communities. Related to other features of the collective efficacy is social cohesion. People are more likely to help maintain informal social control when they trust their neighbors and can expect them to be supportive and cooperative. Social process theories. Social process theories are concerned with how society works. Social processes, the ways that individuals and groups develop rules of behavior and social norms. Social processes enable people to comprehend the types of behavior that are expected of them. Learning theories. Differential association theory. Crime is learned from others, especially close family members and delinquent peers. Kids learn 2 things from their association with deviant others. 1, breaking the law is desirable, and 2, techniques for breaking the law. Sutherland said there are 4 factors that affect the difference between law-breaking and law-abiding behavior, and they are priority, duration, frequency, and intensity. Antisocial behavior is learned in the same way that the law-abiding behavior is learned. Social learning theory explains how crime is learned. People learn behaviors by watching other people, mimicking interactions that are rewarding and avoiding those that are punished. Learning theory has 4 dimensions, according to Ron Akers, including imitation, differential association, differential reinforcement, and definitions. Social learning theory has remained a popular explanation for 2 reasons: has withstood the rigors of empirical testing, offers obvious policy implications. Many programs use behavior modification techniques that reward good behavior. Learning theories, techniques of neutralization. Sykes and Matza explain how youths who don't approve of delinquency can justify their deviant conduct. Kids construct defense mechanisms prior to breaking the law as a way of deflecting moral blame. Techniques of neutralization can include denial of responsibility, denial of injury, denial of victim, condemnation of condemners, and appeal to higher loyalties. When people break the law, they can provide themselves with excuses that minimize the blame. Anomie and strain theory. Anomie, personal anxiety or isolation produced by rapidly shifting moral values, and strain theory, the personal strain that causes anger by being excluded from economic rewards. Strain theory is an extension of anomie. Durkheim and anomie. Deviant behaviors occur when people feel that traditional ways of relating to others no longer works. People need clear rules to live by. When these rules are absent or no longer apply, people might feel dissatisfied and frustrated. Merton and strain. Similar to anomie, social goals, society teaches individuals to pursue desirable ends, the means that one uses to pursue cultural goals, and some find their means to socially approved goals blocked. Anomie and strain theory says there's 5 modes of adaptation: conformity, innovation, ritual, retreat, and rebellion. Agnew and strain. Broaden strain to include more than Merton's disjunction between means and goal. Crime and delinquency are adaptations to three major sources of stress. 1. The disjunction between just fair outcomes and actual outcomes. 2. The removal of positively valued stimuli from the individual. And 3. Negative stimuli. Instead of asking people why break the law, it asks why don't we all break the law. 6. Deficiencies in socialization. Three types of social control theories are personality-oriented control theories, containment theories, and social bonding theories. Social control theory continued. Personality and social control. Reese identified three aspects of social control that interact with personality that could result in delinquency. 1. Lack of proper internal controls developed during childhood. 2. Breakdown in internal controls. 3. An absence of or conflicts in the social roles provided by important groups. Containment theory suggests reckless people are influenced by inner controls based on their self-concept and personality, and outer controls based on the adequacy of social support systems. People are pushed because of inadequate inner containment and pulled because of the pressure from outer containment, which includes criminal and/or delinquent acts. Hershey's social control theory suggests people are bonded to conventional society and institutions to varying degrees. 4 dimensions of the social bond include attachment, involvement, commitment, and belief. Subculture theories. Kids tend to break the law with their friends. 5 subculture theories: Delinquent Boys, Differential Opportunity Theory, Focal Concerns of the Lower Class, Subculture and Violence, and the Code of the Street. Delinquent Boys. Cohen suggests concerns with lower class male in gangs are an issue. Kids of all social class compete with each other in school, but all aren't equally prepared for competition. Kids are judged according to their middle class measuring rod. Status frustration for those who don't measure up. Clown and Olwen, with differential opportunity theory, extend strain theory. When lower class boys can't compete in society, they turn to delinquent subculture to help them adapt. 3 types of delinquent subcultures are the criminal pattern, the conflict pattern, and the retreatist pattern. Focal concerns of the lower class. Miller locates the source of the crime and delinquency in the subculture in which subkids are socialized. Lower class subculture emphasizes many middle class values, but also has a different set of focal concerns that often conflict with traditional society. Miller's focal concerns include trouble, toughness, smartness, excitement, fate, and autonomy. Although not criminal acts, these activities make law-breaking more likely. Subculture of violence. Wolfgang and Ferracuti. Subcultures in which violence is prevalent don't necessarily reject all the values of the dominant culture. Subculture violence is more intense, widespread, and frequent. Violence is considered the right way to resolve conflict. The Code of the Street. Anderson. Disadvantaged black neighborhoods promote a violent code of conduct that young people must obey. Decent families and street families. Manhood and nerve are key. Reforming delinquents might require reforming the entire disadvantaged community. Social reaction theories consider not only the behavior of people, but also how that behavior is influenced by the reaction of others. 2 types of social reaction theories. 1. Labeling theory describes how a label applied by society can affect an individual's self-perception and behavior. And shaming theory, the concept of applying a mark or stigma on disgraced individuals. Labeling theory. No behavior is intrinsically deviant, but is subject to the label that is placed on it by those who have power. Primary deviancy is the label that society places on the offender, and secondary deviancy is the label that people internalize and come to believe as accurate. Shaming theory. Stigmatizing shaming has a negative effect on the offender's behavior. Embarrasses and humiliates offenders so they don't repeat their behavior. Braithwaite, shaming can be reintegrative in that the youth is confronted by the social network and the youth can make restitution, apology, and amends to the victim and society. That concludes this narrated version of this chapter PowerPoint.